We got a doozy of a topic to talk about today in Dame's World. It's your boy Dame. Subscribe to Dame's World if you haven't. If you stumbling across this video, I gotta let you know you in the right place when it comes to content. We break down things in the nature of sports, music, socio-political issues, etc., etc. And today it gets no different. Sheryl Underwood and Sharon Osbourne have a discussion which turned heated in a matter of seconds. If I could give you a little bit of backstory, the royal family, Prince and Princess, Harry and Meghan, had an interview on Oprah in which Meghan expressed that some higher-ups in the royal family were worried about the skin color of the baby. Now, if you black, then you know that question in itself has racial undertones, implications. And under our construct of race, we have to remember racism is a construct, not an emotion. Under our construct of race, the implication is usually made with the implication that if it's darker, it's lesser. That's the concept of racism, subordination, inferiority. So to even ask the question implies racial undertones that insinuate you don't want a black dark baby, especially in that royal family. But however, the question was asked, Meghan revealed the nature of whatever happened. Like I said, we're third person. We don't know what happened, but she revealed that nature to us for us to speculate. Now, Piers Morgan, journalist, came and denounced her entire spiel, saying she bullshitting, she's slandering the royal family for being racist, she's an actress, it's wrong. And now, as a response, many black folk and many people in general are jumping to Meghan's defense because we've seen this before. The black story being undermined by a white male or white female. A lot of the times the white male, white female can't understand racism because they don't experience it to feel it. It's not a reality. So when somebody like Meghan might tell her tale, it might not resonate. Somebody like Piers Morgan is going to want facts, or somebody like Piers Morgan is going to want to revert to his level of conditioning as a white male who can't really understand that beyond empirical data. He keeps asking for facts about racism. Racism is too abstract for facts. It's more covert than overt. If you unfamiliar with my channel, I feel like most people are accidentally racist, not purposely racist. But then again, you talk about Piers Morgan. We're only speaking of him to talk about this video at hand of Sharon Osbourne protecting his sentiments, essentially denouncing Meghan and protecting the royal family's image. And again, it premises a lot, and people just don't want to believe that people in these positions are racist. But at Dame's World, let me tell you, the people in them positions damn near created the construct. And we'll keep it that way. So get out of your box of reality and thinking that royal families can't be racist. But let's break down and get to the discussion. Enough talking for me. Let's get it.
So I really would like to know, because I've been knowing you for years since I've been here, and I've never seen anything come out of you other than, if I don't know, I'm willing to learn. If it comes off a certain way, I stand corrected.
Right.
That's the only thing I say.
Yeah.
So what would you say to people who may feel that while you're standing by your friend, it appears that you give validation or safe haven to something that he has uttered that is racist, even if you don't agree? Am I saying it right? Okay.
Layman terms for y'all. Osbourne protected Morgan's sentiments of bashing Meghan. All Sheryl Underwood is asking, in the most calm, coddling manner, by the way, is, what would you say to the people who claim you're guilty by association for standing next to him when we feel his undertones were racist?
You see, I don't know what he's uttered that's racist. I'm not trying to slide out of this one.
Right.
I don't know. Tell me, what has he uttered that's racist?
And she don't think nothing he said was racist because she's an old white woman. I'm going to let y'all know that. Old white men, old white women are not going to understand when somebody's being racist towards black people because they haven't experienced it. But let's continue.
Wednesday's episode of The Talk got intense as Sheryl Underwood confronted her co-host Sharon Osbourne for supporting Piers Morgan after he made controversial comments towards Meghan Markle following her sit-down interview with Oprah. Throughout the conversation, Sharon became very defensive over her friendship with Piers and even lashed out at Sheryl. Take a look.
I feel even like I'm about to be put in the electric chair because I have a friend who many people think is a racist, so that makes me a racist. And for me, at 68 years of age, to have to turn around and say, I ain't racist. What's it got to do with me? Okay, how can I be racist about anybody? How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life?
Okay, for one, do y'all hear the question she's asking? White people act like they cannot be racist. And people in general, when you talk about racism, I feel like a lot of people misconstrue the concept of racism with the emotion of hate. This is why you hear motherfuckers say, I don't have a racist bone in my body. Like your bones or your inner feelings dictate racism when it's more conceptual. It's a learned behavior. So the fact that she feels she can't even be racist, how can I'm 67 and white. You 67 and white. So in my world, you more than likely are racist. If you grew up in America, got indoctrinated by American Western society, you've inherited racist ideologies. If you watch TV, you've inherited racist ideologies. So my connotation of racism, my context, most motherfuckers are racist. But in her reality, she can't even see how she can be racist. So that's already problematic. For two, what else she say? Hold on, we gonna decode this shit. Bring it back.
And say, I ain't racist. What's it got to do with me?
Oh, professing that coddling someone who doesn't need to be coddled. The real problem is racism, not how people take being accused of being racist. So now she's switching the attention to the white privileged position of catering to her feelings and her emotions about a situation in which ain't even about her. This ain't about Sharon Osbourne. This is about denouncing the opinion of black people. This is about racism, covert racism. This ain't about, I'm 67 and I still have to explain I'm not racist. So she's exemplifying a form of white privilege right to y'all face by saying that she's in a position even damn near more stifling than actual racism. I shouldn't be having to defend myself. You're not even in a dangerous situation. But let's go.
Okay, how can I be racist about anybody? How can I be racist about anybody or anything in my life? How can I?
She thinks she cannot. Think about what she's saying. And this is most white people. I ask white people. They have not a racist bone in their body. Their friends are black. They've dated a black guy. Things that have nothing to do with whether or not you covertly or conceptually racist. They say this type of shit.
Well,
what?
We'll be right.
And now she's getting aggressive. Now we're talking about emotional control in the realm of argumentation. If we want to expand the dialogue, we have to dial back and be considerate of emotions. We must not let it spill into that realm of what she's doing. Cutting. Now she's being disrespectful. You cutting off Sheryl Underwood. Now what? You're raising your tone. You taking energy mechanisms that could get you banked in the streets. So we want to keep that dialogue in the realm of dialogue So emotions must be able to be controlled. Osbourne is showing you she ain't controlling her emotions. Sheryl Underwood is showing you great emotional control right now.
We have more topics, so don't go away.
And I think we should stop this.
Cutting it off, blurting her out, aggressive, vehement. You can tell when somebody's emotionally jarred.
I will ask you again, Cheryl.
Yes.
I've been asking you during the break. I'm asking you again.
She's pressing now. Now, in my opinion, Sheryl Underwood wouldn't be wrong if she said, hey, watch your tone. But I'm going to tell y'all another opinion of mine in this video. Black people, we've taken this position subconsciously of subordinates. It's been thrusted upon us in our reality that black is lesser. That subconsciously have become our reality until we've learned to put ourselves out of that reality. So our will has been subjugated to look at white people as somebody we need to come at a certain way. So in my opinion, I feel the way Sheryl Underwood dresses this up and the way she's getting at her, don't get me wrong, I think it shows resilience and strength, but it's also reflective of how we coddle the white character, the white emotion. When their ego, when their fragility is at stake, we like, all right, we don't want to bust it open too much. But for the sake of the truth and the sake of the real problem, people like Sharon Osbourne's reality needs to be busted open. She needs to be known. She needs someone to let her know that some of her thoughts and some of her actions are racist, which will make people look at her as a racist regardless of what she thinks about her fucking self. But just the coddling going on right now of her emotions when this shit ain't even about her is amazing.
And don't try and cry, because if anyone should be crying, it should be me. This is the situation.
It gets worse.
I will ask you again, Cheryl.
Yes.
I've been asking you during the break. I'm asking you again. And don't try and cry, because if anyone should be crying, it should be me. This is the situation.
I have to stop it right there because you talk about white privilege again. Cheryl shouldn't be crying about anything. Not in this instance. Mind you, this instance we talking about is racism and undermining people of color. Mind you, Sheryl Underwood is a person of color. So we're talking about a topic in her reality, in her realm. Now, Sharon Osbourne says Cheryl shouldn't be crying in this situation of talking about racism in America, the reality that Cheryl knowingly goes through. But Sharon should be crying. She should be crying because perception around her has deemed her in a position in which she does not like. How mentally fragile do you have to be? How sadistic, how narcissistic do you have to be to believe that this situation is about you? The situation of racism is about a 60-year-old white woman? Parasitic. And then another thing to note, she's being racist right now. When you're micromanaging someone else's emotions, the reason why racism can't be tangibly grasped, because it's not like stealing. You can't pinpoint the object and be like, oh, that's stealing. That's racism. Racism is conceptual, like I said. So it gets dressed up, and a lot of the times you can't identify it tangibly. Racial discrimination is one of the hardest cases to prove in history because they've made racism esoteric. You see poverty in the hoods, people will claim it's not because of racism, it's because of economic reasons. So it's always in the pocket of white supremacy to create a tool to navigate around the system's practice of racism. So it's always been something the system has constantly and vehemently denied. She's just propping up this tool by denying the reality of black people, denying Cheryl's comments, and toppling over her by saying, you shouldn't even be crying, I should be crying. She's playing the superior role in this endeavor right now. You shouldn't be crying. I should be crying. She's setting the standards. Teach me. You do this. This is a racist ass video. It's not hateful though. Hate is an emotion. Well, she does have hate. She has anger and hate in her blood right here. You can tell it. You can feel it. She's releasing hate. But the racist is more conceptualized.
Situation. Yes. You tell me where you have heard him say, educate me. Tell me when you have heard him say racist things. Educate me.
She's putting the ball in her court. It's not black people's responsibility to educate ill-educated people on racism. And it's not our responsibility to do so if you ain't got emotional control. If you can't handle what I'm about to tell you, there's no need to educate you. Sharon Osbourne is a lost cause. There's no need. But because in her privileged world, she feels like because I'm being attacked and I feel like I'm in the electric chair, that the least you guys could do is educate me about racism if I am any type of incorrect, in which I feel I'm not. And then Cheryl's being poised. Shout out to her for that. And at the same time, I feel like she's not flexing the willpower, though.
Tell me.
It is not the exact words of racism. It's the implication and the reaction to it. To not want to address that because she is a black woman and to try to dismiss it or to make it seem less than what it is. That's what makes it racist. But right now, I'm talking to a woman who I believe is my friend. And I don't want anybody here to watch this and say that we're attacking you for
coddling her. This is coddling. Segueing from the main point, and we're now coddling a 67-year-old rich-ass white woman. We're not attacking you about racism. We just want to, again, what the fuck are we doing here? What is the point? Are we really trying to break down and pinpoint and find actual systemic and institutional and individual racism in society? Or are we coddling to this old white lady's emotions and how she feels about being called racist? Who gives a fuck if you've been deemed racist by other people? Now you need to make an assessment and ask yourself, damn, what the fuck am I doing to have that outlook? Perception is reality. No matter how much you white motherfuckers think y'all not racist, outside looking in, many people are looking at y'all like y'all are racist. Generally, why? Because individuals have applied the general truth for the understanding to be that outside of y'all. So, what are we doing here? Fuck with her feelings.
Being racist and for that,
and she's still in her feelings, smacking her teeth, scoffing. Look at her face. Oh, you guys already did that. Fuck that. We were supposed to do that.
If I articulated,
I think it's too late. I think that seed's already sown.
But that is why I'm saying for me. I'm saying for me. For me. I thought I was asking a question about the perception for other people. That's why I prefaced it with, I've never heard you utter anything racist, but I have. But
look, Cheryl's been as kind and as nice and as submissive as possible. Less domineering, not attacking, not on the prowl. And all Sharon could do is feel attacked by it. White fragility right here.
I have felt that Piers was racist in his stance against Meghan Markle, and the last time he was on this show, I said as much. I said it when he was on this show.
And what was his answer to you?
He didn't feel that. He didn't feel that it was racist. He didn't feel that.
Of course. They're never gonna feel that what they do is racist to them. Their experience in that endeavor is immaterial. Racism conceptually was meant to implicate black people as subordinate. So they're going to be the people who feel the implication of subordination, of less than. So you got to ask black people about racism. Asking white people about racism is like asking Michael Vick about basketball. Different field.
that the racial statements that he was making were racist. But I was talking to him.
Okay, answer me this one, okay? Because I don't know. I don't understand.
Look, this is Dave's World. If y'all say why I'm pausing, skip the show. But this is Dave's World, so my opinion is to be expressed. The whole aspect of Pierre Morgan, in my opinion, of his comments towards Megan, it's underlying racist. It's not, and I could be wrong. He could just not like the individual Megan. So this is leading to her question. But to me, it's a racial undertone just because the history of white males, white females, and our American system and the outlook on black people when it comes to believability, when it comes to criminality, when it comes to the position we've taken from a perspective standpoint. We've been looked at as liars and as suspect and as cheaters and as a perspective to refute, to undermine. So when Pierre, white male, comes to the table with his power, his privilege, that's what it means to have the privilege as a white male. Now you have privilege that black women and black men are not going to be privy to. You speak your voice and you denounce her position as a lie. Now, in my opinion, I think you did that partially because she's taking a Afrocentric stance and she's of African descent. So yes, it is rooted in racism. Could I be wrong? Yeah, but that's my assumption based on the evidence. So that's just leading to this question that's going to come.
If he doesn't like someone, and I think this is for everybody who is born white, if Piers doesn't like someone and they happen to be black, does that make him a racist?
No, not at all. Not at all. Racism is a construct that undermines color in perception, and then racism turns into a practice. People practice the perception. So to not like somebody and they happen to be black off that whim, that is not racist. But again, it's abstract. It's hard to tell whether or not this person is doing it because or not because of race. This is why discrimination cases don't win like that. It's so hard to gauge whether or not somebody's intentionality was, because he was black. You stop somebody in the store. I get stopped in the store all the fucking time, but let them tell it, it's not because you're black. Let me tell it, though. I get stopped every fucking time. I get carded every time. I see white people not get carded that I come with. But let them tell it it's not because I'm black. So, like I said, people are more accidentally racist than purposely racist. Pierre Morgan wouldn't know if he was racist. Sharon Osbourne wouldn't know if she was racist. That's real shit.
No.
That's a no.
No.
Right. So why can't it be he just doesn't like her? Why does it have to be racist?
She's right. She's right. It can be that. But is it? Whether or not it can or cannot be is inconsequential, especially dealing in this realm where humans have subjective takes. So you have to factor in the black people's take on that and the white people's take, and then the history of that to be like, okay, yeah, maybe it is racist. What we know for sure is it could be you just don't like that girl. But what we know based on history, it could be because she black and you a white male protecting that royal institution. You don't want to put a smudge on their name for being racist in that family, in that household. So, but essentially, that finishes the tape I got.
It's almost like, I'm sorry, Sheryl.
No, you
it's almost like yesterday when you were talking, Mrs. O, it sounded like he was really upset about, what you were saying is a royalist. Like, he is just so, deep into
he is.
honoring the crown and honoring, and do I agree with what he said?
There you go, right there. And look, watch her dismiss herself from, she ain't racist either. She gonna go, do I agree? No, I don't. I'm not racist. White people only go up to tell you they not racist. This is a reflection that they have to do if they really want to figure it out. Otherwise, because if we start pointing the finger, that dissonance is going to show like Sharon Osbourne, and she going to feel like she in an electric chair, and she's not even going to be in the right cognitive space to grow and learn really about racism. But she said Pierre Morgan's a royalist, somebody who loves and looks at the throne in an endearing fashion. So logically, he's going to protect the throne if somebody comes with accusations of being racist. Oh, that's absurd. So then I'm going to dismiss Meghan's outlook and outtake. And she happens to be black, and it happens to be a race issue. So that's what loops it with, oh, this nigga's a racist, possibly. You want to ask Dame's World if you, nigga, what school you went to? What did you study? Who invented electricity, even though electricity can't even be invented? You about to say a European name in your head because you've been groomed, you've been indoctrinated by Eurocentric knowledge. And as a consequence, you've inherited ideas that make Europeans either appear superior, or they give you an outlook that Afrocentric or people that are melanated in any sort are less than. So everybody's racist. You have to unlearn racism. So if you've never told yourself that you were racist, and you've been born in America, born in Europe, born around the world, the Western indoctrination is real, you most likely inherited ideologies that are racist, imply colorism. Ask yourself, what is the need to even ask what color the baby is? Ask that, because there's a lot of people claiming, oh, the royal family couldn't be racist. I don't know why you would think that they couldn't be racist, but ask yourself why the need to even ask whether or not it was going to have melanin. Why the concern? But that's in today's world. My conclusion is, honestly, racism is better learned when experienced. So be it that white people don't experience racism, not nearly at the magnitude in which the origins created it to be. What I mean by that is it was created to make you feel subordinate. It was practiced as a subordination mechanism. You're treated like 3/5 less than dog. So the racism that white people face is like 1/1 billionth of that in a fraction. They can't experience that level of racism. An institution hasn't been created and perpetuated as such. So the only racism that they can face becomes that of something that I wish real racism was. Shit, like name calling, you feel me, getting called a Karen, that's racist, or I don't know, things that aren't nearly as effective as the real racism. So in my opinion, be it that they don't experience real racism, they ain't qualified to talk about racism. It's that simple. And that concludes it in Dame's World. Let me know your thoughts, your comments. I don't know, do you think Sharon Osbourne was in the right or wrong? Sheryl Underwood? What are the undertones in this video? I just see it how I see it. It is what it is, man. Peace.